Hello, this is our weekly email for the week ended April 17th, 2020. And you may notice I'm not wearing my tie today. I normally keep a suit, a change of clothes here at the office so that when I come in, I can change into that and make this video for you. However, I took it home with me because it needed to go to the cleaners and did not replace it. So my suit and my tie are at home right now. So forgive me for my casual appearance. This video is to give you an update on where we stand with our investment committee. As I described in last week's video, I was going to report to you on a variety of topics that we are discussing. So first of all, when do we get back in? So we are still actually right now relatively far away from getting back in. So that's from the standpoint of what we believe that is going to happen, which is that we're going to see this rally peter out and go back down. That's a good thing. So at this current time, we're not near buying back in despite the rally that we've seen. However, our conversations have been around what happens if we do get to our buy signal and there is no vaccine for the virus and we don't have clarity around what the future holds. The answer is that we don't want to ignore our strategy because, again, if you have a strategy and you ignore it, then why do you have a strategy? So our thinking at this time is that should we reach our signal, that we will not ignore it, but we'll also go in gradually. We'll tippy-toe in if we still do not have clarity and if we still do not have a vaccine. Okay, so that's the first thing. Question number two that we're examining is what do we go back into? Do we go back into our stocks? Do we go back into bonds? What do we do? Right now, our thinking is that we will go back into our stocks, but not our bonds. The bond side, despite the fact that the Federal Reserve has essentially said they're going to buy up the universe, is still a concern to us because of the threat to the real estate market. And we don't know how the Federal Reserve would buy up the entire real estate market if it collapsed. They might. But the other risk that is still outstanding is the emerging countries. There are poor countries like Brazil and Venezuela, Argentina, etc., that could default on their risk, and that could cause a domino effect that could come back to hurt our credit markets here in the United States. So therefore, we're not ready to declare victory over the bond market, and therefore we're not ready to buy those. So if we reach our buy signal, currently our thinking is we'll tippy-toe into the stock market, but not back into the bond market. Also, as we do for you always, we check to make sure that our managers are being true to what we want them to be invested in when we are being safe. So last Thursday, we had our money market fund manager on our conference call, and we essentially confirmed that where we are invested now is the safest that we can be given current circumstances. So we're watching that carefully, making sure that everything is buttoned up. Our managers are very good. It's not that we don't trust them, but as Ronald Reagan once said, we trust, but we verify. And that's what you pay us to do, so that's why we're doing it. We want to reiterate that we don't want you to worry about all this stuff, okay? Let us worry about it for you. The biggest compliment we can get from a client is, Ken, we have peace of mind. We're not worrying about this. We're letting you do the worrying. We're taking care of ourselves and our family and dealing with the sequestration, the quarantining, and staying healthy. And so if you're doing that, then we're gratified and we feel like we have accomplished our goals. So, as the old expression goes, a financial advisor makes their money during a bull market, but they earn it during a bear market. And it is amazing how much work is involved in being out of the market. It's way more than the amount of work there is when you are in the market. Because when we're fully invested, it's essentially we're riding the wave and we're waiting for our sell signal. But once we get out, then there's lots of considerations. We're very brave when we sell, because when we sell, we know what we have. What we get after we've sold, we know what that is. The other side of it is on the buy side, we're not as brave. In fact, we're kind of trepidatious because if we buy and it goes back down after that, then we could lose some money. And we don't know what will happen after we buy. So on the buy side, we're way more cautious. We're way more careful. We put a lot more thought into that than we do on the sell side. So that's where we stand right now. And again, we are so very thankful that you allow us to be your guide through all of this. I've said this before, but I think it bears repeating. The team that guided us through 2008 and the credit crisis and all that happened, and we were able to get through that, and is the same team, over 100 years of experience, that is managing us through this crisis right now. So despite the fact that we've seen the infections start to come down and all of that, we really want to encourage you to not let your guard down when it comes to this virus. Okay, it is deadly and you do not want to catch it. Do not get lax. Keep your guard up. Keep dotting the I's and crossing the T's. Wipe things down. Wash your hands. Do not take it for granted because it is very dangerous and we want you to be a client for a very long time. And so we'll mind your money and you mind your health. And if we both do that, we should come out on the other side of this in good shape. Okay, so again, thank you, and we will talk soon.